Hello guys, my name is Carter and this is the Last Chair podcast. Today I will be talking about the history of snowboarding and how well known it has become and some other facts about the sport. I would like to mention all of the websites I used first, which are the Olympic website, Team USA, Quicksilver.com, Free the Powder, and the Red Bull website. Thank you to all those websites for my facts. And now, let's get right into it. Snowboarding was first invented in 1960 by a surfer named Sherman Poppin. Sherman lived in Michigan and he was an engineer. He built a surfboard that was a smaller surfboard called the Snurfer. His initial design was two skis side by side put together to make it wider. More than 1 million Snurfers were sold for $15 apiece through 1965 through 1975. In the 1970s, an East Coast surfer named Dmitry Milkovich, he was a student at Cornell and he was known for sliding down the snowy hillsides on lunch trays. Then he eventually invented his own snowboard called the Winter Stick. His original model looked like a longboard. The longboard was made of laminated fiberglass. There was gravel on the board for traction, and nylon straps and steel edges to carve. In the late 1970s, a 23-year-old student named Jake Burton Carpenter was obsessed with the idea of the Snurfer and decided to make his own. His design was made of wood that could bend, and he had fins to go behind your heels and straps on your feet so you didn't have to grab a rope. Close to the 1980s and early 1990s, Snurfer and any other board was not allowed at resorts, so they had to hike up the hill at night just to snowboard and not get caught. The early 1990s, snowboarding started to get more popular. People and brands started to host competitions for snowboarding. The competitions were freestyle events. They did tricks that were mostly spins and grabs, kind of like from skateboarding or surfing. Because of the freestyle events, the Snurfer and other boards didn't work and died off. Because of the downfall of the Snurfer, Burton and Sims made boards like the modern designs. Because of the competitions and more people started snowboarding, resorts started to allow snowboarding during the early 2000s. During the early 2000s, when every ski resort was letting snowboarding, only 3 didn't allow snowboarding. There was 2 in Utah, Deer Valley, and Alta ski area, and the last one was in Vermont's Mad River Glen. During the 2000s is when the competitions were at the biggest. There was half-pipe events, freestyle events, and park events. The 2 biggest events are the Winter X Games, held annually, and the Winter Olympics, held every 4 years. During the 2000s, there were some very popular snowboarders. One of the most popular snowboarders is Shaun White. Shaun White started snowboarding when he was 6 years old. He was born in San Diego, California. Shaun started professionally doing competitions at 13. Throughout Shaun's career, he has won over 13 titles at the Winter X Games in Superpipe and Slopestyle. Another popular snowboarder is Travis Rice. Travis Rice started snowboarding at the age of 10. He was born in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Travis didn't enter his first major competition until he was 18 in 2001. The Young Outsider entered Snowboarding Magazine's event. Super Park, after that competition, it landed him a trip to Alaska in a full part with Absinthe Films. Throughout the snowboarding, there has been many brands, videos, games, competitions, movies, podcasts, POVs, sponsor videos, and a whole lot more of amazing snowboarding stuff. There's over 6,000 ski resorts all over the world and over 480 in the USA. Over 8 million people snowboard in the compared to skiing, where over 135 million people ski, so a big difference. there is a 1 in 2.2 million chance of dying while snowboarding. Over 75 people die every year from snowboarding. That is really sad. The number one injury is breaking your wrist, because most people try to save their fall and bend their wrists when they try to save it. In second place is your neck. It's really easy to fracture your neck while snowboarding. You could send a jump and lean too far forward or too far back and land right on your neck. In conclusion, snowboarding has developed a lot throughout the years, ever since the 60s. It was once not allowed at resorts, and people had to hike up the hill to go to the resorts, and now snowboarding has been its own sport in the X Games and even the Winter Olympics for over 60 years, and hopefully there's more to come. Thank you for watching the Last Chair podcast. See you next time.